The fire alarms were screaming like the world was ending. Lights flashing, smoke ripping through the hallway on the 32nd floor of Aurora Tech Tower. People were running, shoving through stairwells, dropping laptops, heels snapping, grown adults crying. It was chaos, real chaos. The kind you don't forget. And right in the middle of all that panic, one man was running up the stairs. Not security, not a firefighter, not some action hero. Just a single dad in a faded gray hoodie, carrying a beat-up backpack with a loose zipper and a lunchbox his kid had drawn astronauts on. That man was Caleb Rivers. And that day was supposed to be just another quiet janitor shift. Until it wasn't. Before we go any further, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. This story is about to go places. Caleb pushed through a cloud of smoke so thick it felt like moving underwater. Everyone else was trying to get out, screaming, coughing, terrified. But he kept climbing, taking the stairs 2 at a time, eyes locked forward like he knew exactly why he was there. And that was the moment Elena Marlowe, CEO of Aurora Tech, first noticed him. She saw him from the glass conference room as her executives panicked around her. Her CFO was yelling, "We need to grab the contracts." A VP was crying about her stock options. Someone else was shouting to call 911. But Elena was staring at the lone silhouette charging into the fire, the same janitor who'd fixed her office lamp 2 days ago and refused her tip with a shy smile. Now here he was, sprinting toward danger like he had a personal score to settle. A heart-splitting scream echoed from her corner office. One of her interns was trapped. She barely had time to shout before Caleb burst out through the smoke, carrying the girl in his arms. His shirt was half-burned, his face streaked with soot, but his eyes, calm, focused. He moved with the kind of precision you only get from training. He laid the intern down gently, checked her pulse, tore a piece of his sleeve, soaked it with his water bottle, and placed it over her mouth. "Slow breaths," he said, voice steady. "You're all right. Stay with me." Even security stood frozen watching him. Elena stepped toward him, stunned. "Who are you?" she whispered. He didn't answer. He just accidentally dropped a small notepad from his hoodie pocket. It hit the floor face up. And Elena froze. The notepad was filled with equations. Not doodles, systems-level mathematics. Optimization algorithms. Routing models. Graph theory. Things she hadn't seen since her Stanford days. Stuff no janitor should have casually written on lunch breaks. She looked up. But Caleb was gone. Caleb Rivers used to be someone else. A decade earlier, he was Dr. Rivers, a rising name in predictive systems theory, teaching advanced logistics modeling at Stanford, writing papers tech leaders quoted in conferences. Until life came crashing down. His wife, Nora, got sick. Really sick. The kind of sick insurance calls non-covered. He burned through their savings, their retirement, their emergency funds, everything. And when she passed, he walked away from the career, the conferences, the invitations. He walked away from all of it. He had a son now. Eli, 9 years old, all freckles and big questions. And Eli needed stability, not a dad drowning in grief-chasing research grants. So Caleb took whatever job he could work around school pickup hours. Janitor work. Night shifts. Cleaning floors while brilliant people walked past him without ever looking him in the eye. He didn't care. It got Eli dinner, kept the lights on, kept his boy safe. That was enough. But the world has a strange way of circling back. The next morning, Caleb walked into Aurora Tech's janitorial locker room, exhausted, smelling faintly of smoke, already thinking about getting Eli to school on time. He didn't expect anyone to follow him. Elena Marlowe stepped inside like she owned the oxygen in the room. "I think you dropped this," she said, holding up his notebook. He froze. She flipped through the pages, eyes wide. "Caleb, This is advanced systems math. Where did you learn this? He tried to brush it off. Just, things I work on during breaks. She stared at him like he'd just spoken Martian. This formula solves a routing issue our entire engineering team has been stuck on for 3 months. Do you realize what this is? He shrugged, embarrassed. Just keeping my brain active. Caleb, she said softly, this could save my company. And for the first time since Nora died. Caleb heard words he hadn't heard in years. I need you. He swallowed hard. I'm not looking for handouts. She shook her head. I'm offering a job. A real one. A desk. A team. A paycheck that doesn't require 2 shifts a day. He hesitated. I have a son. I can't work crazy hours. I can't travel. I can't lose him in the middle of all this. She stepped closer. Then we build the job around him. Start Monday. Caleb looked down at his worn boots and nodded. Monday morning, Caleb walked onto the executive floor wearing the only button-down he owned, still creased from years in the closet. People stared. Whispered. Some smirked. Most judged. The VP of engineering, a guy named Grant Pierce, gave him a look like he tracked mud onto his white carpet. This is the guy. Grant scoffed. A janitor? Elena shut him down. A systems architect. And the smartest person in this room. Caleb stepped in. I'm not here to replace anyone. I'm just here to help. But when he walked to the whiteboard and quietly started sketching an alternative structure for Aurora Tech's failing logistics AI, the room went dead silent. He dismantled 6 months of failed assumptions in 20 minutes. Showed them where the error cascaded. Why the system crashed under stress. How to fix it with a trust-weighted dynamic routing layer. Impossible, Grant muttered. Caleb shrugged. Not impossible. Just overlooked. By noon, even the skeptics were leaning in, studying his diagrams like gospel. By Wednesday, the entire engineering department was following his lead. By Friday, Aurora Tech's broken system was running smoother than it ever had. And the board? They hated it. Not because the system worked. But because Caleb didn't fit the image. Grant cornered Caleb in the hallway one night. You might impress Elena, but the board will never accept a janitor rewriting our core architecture. Caleb didn't even flinch. I'm not here for your approval. Grant sneered. Then why are you here? Caleb's jaw tightened. For my son. And he walked away. 2 weeks later, Elena brought Caleb into the biggest meeting of his life. The boardroom was packed with suits worth more than his car. Charts on the wall. Deadlines missed. Contracts lost. Aurora Tech was bleeding money fast. The chairman glared at Elena. This better not be another stunt. It's not, she said. It's a solution. She nodded to Caleb. He plugged in his laptop, launched the simulation, and for 10 breathtaking minutes, Aurora Tech's logistics engine ran flawlessly, balancing loads, rerouting shipments, predicting failures before they happened. The board was speechless. Except Grant. He slammed his hand on the table. This is reckless. This man isn't qualified. He was a janitor. Caleb stayed calm. And now I'm the reason your system isn't crashing. Grant stood up, red in the face. He can't lead this team. Caleb looked at Elena. He doesn't have to. I'm not here for titles. Just let me work. But the chairman surprised everyone. Grant, sit down. The kid's a miracle. Grant stormed out, his ego too bruised to stay. And just like that, Aurora Tech's future shifted. Caleb's fix didn't just work, it blew the competition away. The military contract they'd lost. They got it back. The investors who'd been fleeing. came running. And the press? They loved the story. Unknown single dad saves tech giant. The janitor who rebuilt an industry. But the best moment wasn't the headlines. It was when Elena walked into Caleb's new office and said, "You saved the company. What do you want next?" He didn't hesitate. "I want to pick up my son from school every day." Elena laughed. "Done. And, a scholarship fund. For people like me. People whose lives took a detour." Elena nodded slowly. "That's more than fair. Let's build it." Months later, the Rivers Scholarship Fund launched. The system Caleb designed became the industry standard. Eli got straight A's, proudly telling his class, "My dad solves problems that computers can't." And Caleb? He finally let himself believe he wasn't just surviving anymore. He was living. But here's the controversial part. Even after all that, some people still whispered behind his back. Still judged him for the years he spent as a janitor. Still believed genius has a dress code. And Caleb? He just kept working, kept raising his son, kept proving every day that brilliance doesn't disappear just because life knocks you down. Sometimes the smartest person in the building is the one nobody's looking at. So now I want to ask you. Do you think people judge too quickly based on someone's job or appearance? Do you believe talent can be found anywhere, even in places society overlooks? And if you were in Caleb's position, would you have taken the chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. Like the video if you felt something. Subscribe if you want more stories like this. And remember, the person you underestimate today might be the hero tomorrow.